Hi, this is Jimmy Johnson and welcome to the Fangs Women's Self-Defense Series DVDs number 2. Today we're going to go on the offensive. We're going to learn strikes like the finger jab, the cross, the uppercut, and the hook, along with some special techniques like how to get out of the bear hug and some dirty fighting tricks that I've learned over the years. With me today are my two students, Mark Hansen and Sarah Langthorne, and they're going to be demonstrating the techniques. So without further ado, let's rock and roll. The first offensive technique we're going to learn today is called the parry. It's a simple motion like this. All you're doing is basically acting like you're swatting at a fly, never going past your center line, and it's used to deflect techniques so that you can set up some offensive techniques like eye gouges, kicks to the groin. Anything you want to do, you can set up with this technique. It goes like this. What you're going to do here is when your opponent throws a punch, you're going to parry, just like swatting at a fly. What you're going to do is you're going to take his punch and take it off the center line so it can't do you any damage here. When you do, you rock back and you push, just a little swat like this. Get out of the way. We're doing this for now because this sets up all your offensive techniques. Okay, the attacker is going to throw a punch. She's going to parry that punch, taking him off the center line. All it is a little swipe. Very easy and natural technique. The harder he punches, the more off center he's going to be when she parries. The next technique I'm going to show you is the offensive finger jab. It goes like this. Going against a opponent, you're sparring, waiting for him to do something. Say he's not doing something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as an offensive weapon this time. Shooting the eyes. And if you want to get in here off of the eye flick, it's a good thing to enter. It's a good entering. It closes the distance between kicking range, from punching range, into grappling range. Again, it's just like this. Same method as before, nice and relaxed at the wrist, and flicking. And that's all there is to it. Now I'm going to show you two ways to escape a bear hug. The opponent grabs her. First thing she's going to do, she's going to drop down, lowering her center of gravity. She's going to shift her hips off to the side. She's going to follow up with a groin strike. She's going to reach forward. If she can grab a finger, grab whatever finger she can. Rotate outwards. Giving him a sweep, taking him down, finish it with a kick to the face. Run, get the hell out of there and get to safety. The opponent reaches forward, gets her in a bear hug. She's going to grab his arms, lower her center of gravity, shift her hips to the side, groin strike, grabbing a thumb, twisting out. Kick out his leg, taking it down, and finishing with a kick to the face. This is how to get out of a bear hug with your arms free. The opponent attacks her around the waist. First thing she's going to do is headbutt him, hopefully to the bridge of his nose. She's going to stomp on his instep, stop on his other instep. Lower her center of gravity, pivot her hips, groin strike, dig for her finger, and rotate out. Either take him down or run to safety. The first striking technique we're going to learn today is called the teep or the push kick. It's meant to impale your opponent. Say if your opponent is throwing a jab at you. What's longer? Your legs are longer than his arms in most cases, hopefully. So what we're going to do here is learn how to impale him, how to nullify his attack and go on the offensive. It's done like this. This is not a snap kick from karate or taekwondo. This is a push kick from Thai boxing. It's meant to impale your opponent. He comes at me. I'm going to lift my leg, push out, and then down. So the motion is up, push, down. It's just like a jab in boxing. It's meant to set up your other techniques. So he comes at me, I lean back, I kick, now I can follow up with both kicks. And that's how to do a teep. Opponent's going to throw a jab. She's going to do a teep, followed with a Thai round kick to the leg. That's the 1-2 in Thai boxing. Opponent is grab by the back of the neck. First thing she's going to do is grab him by the back of his neck by both of her hands. She's going to keep her elbows locked tight so that he cannot knee her. She's going to push him backwards. Then he's probably going to come forward with his momentum. She's going to follow with the knee strike, using his momentum against him.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking my pants. Put suckers in fear.
The next technique we're going to learn today is called the upward elbow. She's going to grab her opponent by the back of the neck, following with an upward strike of her elbow, knocking out his teeth. And now we're going to learn how to do the downward elbow. It's done like this. The opponent is going to shoot in. She's going to follow that with an elbow strike, a downward elbow strike, to the back of the neck, the back of the head, hopefully knocking him unconscious. The opponent shoots in to take her down. She elbows. She's going to fall back, getting him into a guillotine choke. She's going to cinch her arm around his neck as she extends her legs outward, putting him to sleep. He'll think twice before he messes with another woman. Now I'm going to show you how to do a jab. The proper way to do a jab. You got your guard up like this. The back leg is going to propel the front leg forward. You get a lot of power from this. And it's a slide. The other hand is in close, tight like this. So you can counter. You can do a destruction. Say somebody wants to kick you, you can do a destruction. Or you can just block so you can get broken ribs. That's how you do a jab. She's going to slide with her back leg, using it as a propellant, slide her front leg forward as she extends her front hand to aim for his eyes. The jab is really good to set up other techniques, such as the cross, hook, or uppercut. And this is how to do a right cross. You can do this after you set it up with a jab, or you can do this solo. I'm going to do it setting up a jab right now. Jab sets it up. Got your hand here and the guard to protect your head. What you're going to do is you're going to rotate, getting all the power from your hips. This punch goes a little bit off center line when I do it. That's alright, I want that. I want to follow my fist all the way through his jaw, breaking it hopefully, and knocking him out. So, the jab is like this. A lot of people will tell you that you need to do a pivot when you throw a punch. I personally think that you don't need to pivot. Boston doesn't think that you need to pivot either. You get more power like this, because we have a nice solid foundation with our legs in which to drive. When you pivot, you lose something. So I say don't pivot. Throw the cross like this. So a jab cross would be boom, 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 boom. That's how you do a cross. It's done like this. What she's going to do here is she's going to take her rear hand, which is her right hand, and she's going to cross her body, getting all the power from torquing of her hips, the twisting of the hips. As soon as those hips twist, she's going to release it, hitting him in his jaw, his eye, his nose, his throat, whatever she can get. And that's how you do a cross. The next technique we're going to learn today is called the uppercut. It gets its power from the legs. What she's going to do here is she's going to block a punch. She's going to drop down, using her legs to propel her up, taking this part of her fist, putting it under his chin, and sending him to Betty Bye to sleep. Something like this. Throws a punch, she blocks it. She's going to use her legs as a propellant, shooting her fist up, knocking out his teeth, hopefully, knocking him out. The opponent throws a punch. I block it. I'm going to bend my legs like I was going to do a squat. Then I'm going to come up like this, using all my legs, using it as a propellant to propel my fist upwards under his chin. Following through, hopefully causing a knockout. Good night, sir! This is how you do a hook punch. The opponent punches. I block. I come across. I want to hit him in the temple or the jaw. Following through. Go for the knockout. And that's how you do a hook punch. Now I'm going to show you the proper way to stand. So you get knocked down in a fight, you're not out. I'm going to show you the proper way to stand right now so that you can stand up, defend yourself without getting hit. Sarah's been knocked to the ground. What she's going to do is she's going to swing her body to the side. She's going to brace her elbow on her knee, protecting her face, keeping her opposite hand behind her. From that position, she can rock and pivot. She's going to rock and kick his supporting knee, taking that foot, reaching it behind her, and then standing up safely without taking any damage. Last but not least, we're going to learn a little sneaky move called the Hanuman off a front choke. The opponent grabs her by the neck. What she's going to do is she's going to drop her weight down and come up with a double uppercut. It's called the Hanuman. Knocking out his teeth, hopefully knocking him out, and at least freeing herself. It's definitely, in the very least, going to cause him some trembling shock when he's got his head back like that. What you can do there is follow up with groin strikes, eye flicks. You can use these eye flicks and groin strikes anytime. That's what they're there for. They're your tools. Use them.
It's not the arms, but the legs that drive our fists. Like a piston, the explosive power of the legs is capable of generating hundreds of pounds of force, all to a very vulnerable area, the soft underside of the opponent's jaw.
And that concludes the Fangs Women's Self-Defense DVD series. I hope you enjoyed it. I know we had fun making it. So go out there and practice your techniques. Remember, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. And be sneaky. Now you see why I teach fighting, because I can't see him dance.
Da, 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 da.